I want to find new definition of art. I wanted to add knowledge to what art could be. The real point is to create a new way to think about sculpture. My only goal is to do something that will be significant in sculpture, of course, but time will tell if I did it or not. When I was a kid, I was just average in school. I was very sick. I had asthma. I had about 3 crises of asthma every night. And so I spent a lot of time, at home. We discovered at school that I was a little bit more talented in drawing and painting than my other friends, Very early, at the age of 11, I was already making oil paintings very seriously. And I was selling them to all the people in my village. So they were the first one to trust the potential for my career. Anyway, my friends, they would do sport, they would play soccer, they would play basketball, all kind of things like this. It was not my thing. They were successful with girls, not me. Everything was wrong with me, everything. So the only way to be noticed, to exist, to have an identity was to express myself by making paintings. And it worked. I only believe in human being, that's all. I believe in human being. I believe in the potential for human being to go beyond themselves. When I was a kid, I wanted to be the Pope because I thought it was like beyond anything that a human being could be. Then I understood that you have to make some studies, so I decided to be only a missionary. And then the day I saw beautiful women in the street, I decided that no, let's get into real life, another life, not the spiritual, the real one. And today, what I believe in is this. I show you. Look, she doesn't even look. You see, this is what I believe in. Yeah. When I arrived in Nice, I wanted to discover things that were new. And immediately I met this artist called Ben in Nice. And with them, I discovered about Fluxus, that movement, Marcel Duchamp, much more. And I felt that I had a long way to go in order to really do something very original, that will deserve attention. When I met Armand, the sculptor Armand, who took care of me. So I was learning a lot. And in fact, he's the one later on who paid my trip to go to New York. When I arrived in New York, it was not easy for me. I went to New York with $150 and I didn't speak English and I didn't even have an address to go and sleep that evening, the day I was going to London. So things were difficult. And I went to what we call a YMCA, a place where young kids go, Fortunately, Armand arrived about 20 days after I was in New York, and he let me sleep in his studio. It was tough. No water, no money, nothing. But look, you survive. When you know where you want to go, you survive. Fortunately, Armand introduced me to a lady by the name of Babette Neuberger. I met her. She introduced me the same, about 2 days after we met, I met Andy Warhol, Klaus Oldenburg, Rauschenberg, Jasper Johns, everybody. And that was very encouraging for me. I felt that, oh my God, I put my foot at the right place. Yes, I met those pop artists, but it was not my direction. It was not what I was, involved with. Fortunately, very quickly, I discovered an exhibition where the minimalist artists were showing, Donald Judd, Flavin, Carl-André Solowit, all those people, and they were so much more advanced than me. Only for 2 months, something which was very minimal, some sort of tubes cut like this in biseau. But immediately I found solutions to go beyond all that by starting to make works with diagrams and using mathematical formula and so on. So by doing that, I created with others what we call conceptual art, yes. There is something which is permanent in my work. It's what we call self-referentiality. It means that a work of art has nothing to do with something which is outside of it. It's really about itself. It's a reflection on art and not the reflection of something else. As soon as I did my very first works, which are now exhibited in Venice, like the charcoal pile, the black tar paintings, you see this charcoal pile is a work that I call charcoal pile. I'm not giving a funny name, with fantasy. No. This is what it is, this is how it looks like, and this is what it is. But sculpture's charcoal pile that you saw was the first sculpture in art history to have no specific shape. The real piece does not exist. The real piece is a concept. It's the concept of the charcoal pile. So nobody can say, oh, I have the original. No. If you make a charcoal pile in your studio, you have a real Bernar Venet, you have a real piece. You cannot sell it because you don't have a certificate to sell it. I was really in a new category, and this is what excites me. I don't care if people don't understand. You just have to convince 2 or 3 people, because I'm not doing a job. I'm not an artist making a job. I'm an artist like someone who does research. I want to find new definition of art constantly, just like a scientist is not just repeating endlessly what Einstein was saying. Me, I wanted to add knowledge to what art could be. The real moment of creation is when I am on my table like this, with little arcs, angles, straight lines, and indeterminate line, and then through paintings first, then reliefs, then sculpture, and today through generative art, I keep trying to see what can be done. My goal is not to work with huge scales. It's not really the point. The real point is to create a new way to think about sculpture. I can make it huge. I have some projects of 180 meters long. My sculptures are on all continents. I have sculptures in Australia, in New Zealand, in South America, in Mexico, huge pieces, on a lake. I have pieces, of course, in America, in several places. And then in Europe, of course, in France, obviously, in England, in Belgium, it's like, it's endless. In Germany, a lot of pieces also. And Maxx Royal, of course, yeah. It's very pretentious to think that you deserve to make a foundation. It means that you have something to offer, your own work or your taste, your collection. But it came with time, so the idea of a foundation comes to my mind, but I don't have the money to do such a thing. I don't have also the dimension. My reputation is not big enough. My collection is not big enough. But things built up slowly, and then I started to think, okay, yes, we are going to make a foundation one day. And then Frank Stella, that giant of contemporary art, accepted to design a chapel. My wife and I have been collecting artworks in such a way that it's not just for pleasure to decorate the walls or to decorate the garden. When we make a choice, it's really because we want to have something which is meaningful, historical, that will last. It's really the only goal. The most important artists in the collection, there are artists inside like Motherwell, like Frank Sella, like Dan Flavin, like Richard Long and others. But then outside it's mainly, let's say, Tony Smith and Philip King, of course, but Larry Bell. We have a major Larry Bell. Nobody has Larry Bell like this in Europe, or outside of Los Angeles. I don't think there is one like that. But otherwise, Carl Andre, of course. My attitude, my way of thinking is typical of my desire to constantly, create something, go beyond what was thought before me and what I thought yesterday and the day before. There are moments in the story of an artist, which are important, and you don't forget them. Having worked in Bodrum has been a very special experience, Maxx Royal, of course. I went there and I spent 24 hours and I had to make a decision about what could be done. Bay Area, which is so spectacular in itself. Without me, it was already fantastic. Those two caps like this, and this opening on the sea. It was so spectacular. It's really a challenge. And yes, it worked, and I think that it will be totally part of Maxx Royal, the whole context, which is, I believe, from what I saw, is going to be extremely spectacular, extremely, top level. I made 2 or 3 sketches, even with straight line and so on, but it was obvious that, those 2 arcs like this would be the ideal solution. The sculptures are made with Corten steel. So steel is the solution, and Corten steel is a particular steel where we add some chrome, nickel and copper, and then we get that steel which has a quality, the rust coming, the oxidation becomes a protection for inside. So it makes the work very permanent like that, yeah. And the result is really spectacular. I cannot hide the fact that I'm thinking that this sculpture is definitely one of my most successful one I have ever done, yes. I did my job.